welcome to Sparkle and Chill. I guess I better take these off, so, let's see. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're coming back, welcome back. I just said that all backwards, but oh well. It's been one of those days. Have you ever, so I had these 100 points with Diamond Art Club. And last week I decided to spend them. And I wasn't like, the kits I got I liked. It's not like I would buy kits I don't like. But wouldn't you know, this week, the one I have to have, the new butterfly one that just comes out. And I'm like, why did I use my points last week? I'm kind of laughing. So I bit the bullet and I did it anyways because I know it's going to sell out and I know that I'll be mad that I won't be able to get it. But now I'm seriously not buying anything. I have enough points for, I think, $25 off. And I think I've got about 6 months or so since I just bought something to continue to add to that. But I don't want to add to it. That's the thing. So I'm like, what do I do? Anyways, we'll figure it out later, but I was just like, ah! And of course that was not one of the cheaper ones, it was one of the more expensive ones. But I'm excited I'm getting it. And then my order that I ordered last week just showed up today. So I'm like, literally just showed up like 5 minutes ago. And I'm refraining from opening it just yet because I'm just not ready yet. But oh my gosh, I just feel like, so I thought I would do a whip and chat today. I've been working on Diamond Art Club's Peggy Collins, and I always say this wrong, French Bulldog stained glass. It should have something like stained glass French Bulldog, and instead it's backwards, in my opinion. Sorry, Peggy. I want it to be a better title so I can remember it, because saying it backwards I don't remember. Anyways, I'm not too terribly far along. I'm on the first row, and I've got like 2 more blocks of it to do. The first row is like this big, but this is squares, people, and I have not worked on squares but a couple times, other than the dazzles, which I've done a few of those, and 2 other kits that I did that were squares. Well, 3. No, that was a round. Was it a square? I think it was a round. So most of my kits have been rounds, although I have a steady collection of these bigger squares, so I've got to bite the bullet and do it. I'm going to start doing, like, on my main kits, I'm going to start doing a square and then a round and then a square, you know, that kind of thing. Or I might do 2 rounds in a row. I'm not lying. This has been really, really challenging because it's kind of a tight grid. And if you're trying to stick with what it's telling you to do, it's pretty tight. So my hope is that it doesn't just... that I don't start getting, I've got one that looks like it's going to pop. Where was that? Just had it. I got to put my glasses on to do this thing. Okay, let's see. I know there was one that was just, I'll find it later. Anyways, so that's kind of what I'm up against. The other thing is I ordered these things, and I got one of them hooked on the thing. I'll show you when I do it. But I bought these things for the bigger, to use on these bigger kits, and it came with a larger one and a smaller one. And then it came with this, and this is kind of cool. This little thing is like a little ruler that you can stick at the beginning, and it's really nice. You know, that little part that's sticky, it sticks right on there, and then I get my bottom lines square. So this was part of this thing, and then they sent a free gift, which I thought was funny. Free gift. It's just one of their trays, and their trays have the little line on the bottom I don't know if can you see that? Like people usually sometimes, I have one of my trays that I put washi tape on that to do that. It works so nice, and it's nice big. It's as deep as, let me see, is it as deep as these? Not quite as deep as the big one of these, and it's not quite as big, but the squares are lining up really good in it, and I gotta say I like it. I just really like it. It doesn't have the lid on it, but I don't have birds anymore, so I'm not as worried about that. I worry more about me knocking it off the table than that. But when I had birds, I worried about them landing. You know, I'd go to the bathroom, and you don't want to leave any drills anywhere in case they land. They never did. One time I was working, and I have this little overhead light, and one day I was working, and Lily, she was so cute, she landed on the light above my thing. I had just turned it on, and she landed on it, and I was like, well, hello there. And then as soon as I talked to her, she flew back to her perch. So they were pretty good about staying in their own territory. I had a side table by the window that had their bird bath, and a little travel cage that they like to play on and in. So I would put toys in there and some food in there so that if they went in there, they could. And sometimes it worked really good if I wanted to go somewhere and they weren't really wanting to go in yet. Sometimes they'd be in there playing, and I could just close the door on them. And then they had their cages, which had play stuff all over on top, and then they could go in when they wanted. So they pretty much stayed away from other areas. But anyways, so yeah, so I just got that package. I was kind of like, oh, I kind of wanted to unbox them, but I'm probably going to wait a little bit. And then, sorry, I'm finding some of these that are sticking up a little bit. Yeah, this is a really tight grid. I love it though. I mean, the colors are just popping. So why don't so anyways, I wanted to show this because this was really cool. I saw this on a Facebook ad for the little roll-up things, and I was trying to figure out what am I going to do with these big canvases, because I'm afraid of rolling them wrong and having them get all messed up. And this is a really good idea, and you can pull it out and just put paper clips on it or binder clips if you want. But that's a really good way to get it to roll up right. So that's that. And then, yeah, so let's get to it. I'm gonna reline this up. Let me make sure you can see. That's the thing. Just because so I'm working on this. The other thing that I do want to do and will do after this video, so it'll show sometime next week, is I'm going to unbox and kit up this Peggy Collins, which is Poppy. I can't read without my glasses. I can Poppy Field. And this was one of the first things I bought off of Amazon, so I've had it for a while. And I didn't even know it was by Peggy Collins. This was before I even knew who she was or anything about her artwork. I ordered this one and another one that was hers, and then I ordered the Bird of Joy, right, all within about the same time frame, and then realized they were all the same person. I'm like, oh, I guess I do have a favorite. This one, her, T.S. Larkin, and Claudia McKinney. I really like her stuff too. Some of her stuff. I don't like anything with witches in it. I get frustrated with some of these paintings that look really pretty, and then there's a witch's hat, or there's, you know, it doesn't have to have all that in there, and all of a sudden it's got witches in it. And I just don't do witches. I don't like them. Don't want to have them in my house, and so it's kind of frustrating. I'm like, darn. So a really pretty painting can come out, but then they add this stuff that doesn't need to be there, at least for me. I don't want it there, so then I can't buy those canvases. So anyways, look for this to come out, I'm going to unbox. This is going to be my round to work on while I work on this for Peggy Collins Month. I thought, hey, I've even got a small one. I was going to do a budget kit, but I thought, you know, I've got several Peggy Collins, and this is only a 10 by 9, which is a 25.9 centimeter by 22.8 centimeters. So it's pretty small, which is great. That gives me a small project, a large project, and then my butterfly that I'll do. So without further ado, let's get to work here. What's the... Oh, and what I've been doing on these, and this is really fun because this is stained glass. I've been putting in the black outline in the block and then going and filling them in, and it's really, really cool. I'm liking that a lot. It gives me some, it helps with the squares because you've got some definition to put it in. And then this thing works really cool. You just line it up on the edge, and then your drills go on straight. I mean, it's really pretty good. So then I'm just gonna and so far so good. I mean, it's been really fun to, oh, I didn't put new wax on this, but I'll just use the other one here in a second because I've got a couple of them loaded up. I don't feel like doing that right this second. So last night I didn't sleep very good. I haven't been sleeping very good, which is kind of frustrating. But, you know, just see, these are a little bit bigger. I'm off somehow. That's the thing, is this is so tight that we'll just have to see how things go. I can only go so. But I found if I tip it and then go down, they get closer, so it's at least a better this has been really good by using these lines. It helps a lot. I don't know what I'll do when I'm doing a different kind that doesn't have these, but so far I've found that this really works. So today I was hoping, I haven't been able to get motivated to get things done around here, so I woke up early, but I laid in bed for a while. I did not feel like getting up. And I scrolled a little bit, watched a little bit of YouTube, and then I got up and I made something different today. So I'm trying to get my numbers down, my glucose numbers down. My doctor was yelling at me the other day. Not really, but I had a visit with my oncologist, and everything but the glucose was perfect. And she's like, you need to make an appointment with your primary and work on getting that under control. So we're gonna do that. But so I reversed it before I got cancer. I had diabetes. I was working on getting it, reversing it, and I did prior to treatment, and then everything kind of went crazy because I couldn't eat anything. Chemotherapy made me nauseous, and I mean, medication worked really good, but I wasn't eating very well because I couldn't eat. So yeah, all the work I did to reverse it kind of went the wrong direction. So now I'm back at square one. Not that, I mean, and it's not something that I'm going to be able to, like, get it under control and then go crazy again. So it's kind of frustrating. I'm like, I just want it to be gone and be normal, but I don't think you can be normal, at least when it comes to that kind of stuff after the fact. I think I'll always have to be careful about carbs and whatnot. But I saw this thing on a Facebook reel, and they did cottage cheese bread. And now I've heard of it before, I just had never made it. I make chaffles all the time, which is cheese and egg. Oh gosh, that did not go down right. It's messed up that whole, all of those went down weird. I don't know what happened there. You use, I think it was, okay, that one looks fine. Okay. You use cottage cheese, so it's a cup of cottage cheese. I think it was like half a cup of mozzarella cheese and 2 eggs. And you blend that together till it's smooth. And then you pour it on a baking pan, like a cookie sheet, on top of parchment paper that they said they use a tablespoon of olive oil. I didn't do that. I sprayed it with olive oil, with the olive oil spray. And, but maybe that would have made it crisper. Anyways, then you spread that out, and then you can put Italian seasoning or any kind of seasoning you really want to flavor it on there. And then you bake it for like half an hour at 400, and it gets crispy. I think mine could have gone another 5 minutes before. Then they had it as breadsticks, and they just sprinkled it with something that they were using it to dip, and it probably would have been better this way. They used it as like breadsticks, and they dipped it in marinara sauce, and that there would have been really, really good. But of course I had to take it a bit further because I wanted pizza. I thought, why couldn't I use this same thing, since it's, you know, dubbing itself as a breadstick. I'm like, why couldn't I make that into a pizza? So I did, and it was good. It was just the middle was a little soggy, so it needed to cook a little longer before I did that part. And I think it would have been perfect because it tasted really good. And I'm not a person who really likes cottage cheese, but I had bought it to try some of these cottage cheese recipes, because I know if you take certain things and you put them into other things and you add different things to them, then it changes the profile of it, you know, the flavor. And I gotta say, I'm a believer. It was really good, and I ate like half of it, put the rest of it in the fridge. So I'll heat it up probably at a high temperature to get it to crisp up. Again, when I go to eat it. So that was a good recipe to just, I just saw it this morning while I was laying in bed. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Let's try that. So that was a good find. And then I haven't gotten any housework done. I'm kind of allergic to housework right now, I think. I know, that's a silly thing to say, but it really is true. I feel like I'm allergic to housework right now. Okay. I know I'm not. I'm just being lazy. But it's been really hard to get into the mood to clean, and I'm not quite sure what that's about, but it's been really hard, and I need to get stuff done. And I did a load of laundry, and then for some reason it smelled funny, so I just had to rewash that load of laundry, and it was only in there from last night. It wasn't like it got left in for a couple days, though I've been guilty of that before too, but it smelled musty, and I'm like, how could it smell musty? This just ran when I went to bed last night. So I put a little bit of bleach in it because I'm thinking there might have been something on something that was already musty, and I didn't realize it because it was a load of towels, hand towels. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna throw some. So that's been my day so far. That, and I was waiting anxiously. The paintings that I got today in the mail weren't supposed to come till tomorrow, but then I got the alert that they were out for delivery. I love that. I wish that UPS and Amazon would do that when your package showed up, that they would send you a text message that your package is there, because I've had things stolen so many times since I've lived here. I've had multiple things disappear that say they were delivered, or they deliver them to the wrong door. Literally, they delivered one of my packages to a unit that isn't even close to the number that I'm in. I've seen them do it where they've mixed up the numbers on ones before, but they at least made sense. That the last time it happened, it didn't make sense at all. So I walked over there with the other person's fix. What they did was they gave me this other person's package and gave them mine, and that's what I was hoping when I saw the package on my door wasn't mine. I have to be really careful when I get packages to read and make sure it's actually mine, because they've delivered neighbors' stuff before. And it's like, okay. So, and they're not even remotely, it's like, how did you had to be incredibly lazy to make that mistake. Because the numbers for the doors aren't even close. So, anyways, it's kind of funny. I'm just like, okay. But, so I was excited about that. I got that delivery. So that gives me more crap to put under my bed. If my mother could see under my bed, she'd be cringing. You know, when you're a kid and you hide stuff under your bed because you don't want to clean your room. We were not allowed to put things under our bed. Which I don't know why, because it was really a good, other than it would end up getting so dirty you couldn't clean under there, but if we did that. But I love using that for storage space, because I live in a teeny tiny place and there is not enough room to store things. I'm in the process of decluttering and getting rid of stuff. And I'm like, why are you buying more? But this is different. Diamond painting's different, right? All my diamond painting friends, diamond painting is different. Because it's stuff I don't have 400. But I have enough that it's enough to keep me going for quite some time. So I shouldn't be getting anything else. That's the thing. I had said this last week. I'm like, okay, I'm done and then they came out with that one. And I never could find, I wanted to get the diamond dot, had a butterfly one that I wanted. I got one when I first started diamond painting, the one that's on the cover of my thing. That came out, and I got that one. But this one's even better, and it's huge. Oh my gosh. I wasn't going to get any more really big kits either, because one, they're expensive, but two, they're really big, and it's a square. So I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. But I'm actually enjoying this, so I don't think it's bad for me to get squares. It's a learning thing, and it's something that I think as I do like the way these cover. I do love this. So, I may become one of those people that says they don't like doing them, but they like looking at them, so, you know, but I like enjoying the process, so let's see. Let's do this. This is so... Okay. Okay. See, it's just a really tight grid. I wish it was just a little bit not so tight. But, so today I'm going to work on this for a little bit, and I do have to tackle my kitchen. What I'm doing is I've got half my kitchen in my living room right now on my other craft table. It's been there for over a week now. I took everything out, and I need to sort through and get rid of stuff because there's not room in my cupboards for everything that I have. And I just have to bite the bullet and get rid of it, which is hard because you spend good hard money on things, and it's not that any of what I have is stuff I don't want. It's just that there's too much. Story of my life. Too much. I was watching this show. This gal goes out and she helps people to declutter. And one of the things she said to one of the ladies is, some is okay, too much is chaos. And I have to agree with that. A little is okay, but too much is chaos. And I think I have to take that into my diamond painting as well. I've got enough to keep me going for quite some time, even for unboxings and everything. I've got plenty of things that I've only unboxed a small fraction of what I have. And so there's absolutely no reason to buy anything else. I say this until I get some stuff under control. That being said, I had credits on my Amazon account from returning a couple things. And I didn't want the money to go back into my checking account because I figured I've already spent the money. I already figured it was spent. And it was around my birthday. I ordered some things, and then one thing that I ordered wasn't good, and I had to send it back. And I decided not to do a replacement because it just wasn't a good product. So I was like, why get another one? So I had money on there. I ordered, it'll be here tomorrow, another, tell you, diamond painting is a sickness. But I still have money on the account. I ordered another case, but it's one that has 90 bottles, which would be good for these bigger kits without having to have a double one. And I could use these double ones, have one kit on top and one on the bottom, you know, so I could have multiple things going on. And then a smaller 30-piece one I had ordered the day before, but I saw this one and it was on sale, and I was like, oh man. So now I have more than enough storage for kitting things up, to have several things kit up. My problem right now is I've got a lot of small things, like I've got some cards that I'm going to rekit into. It only has 29, I think it's 29. Has 29 colors, and so I think what I'm going to do is move the bottles, because they're in bottles, so all I have to do is switch the bottles out for this little 30 case that I couldn't resist, because it would be a nice travel one, you know, to take minis or anything else in. So I know I'm ridiculous, but I already had the money spent. I can't do anything with it but on Amazon. Most of what I do on Amazon is diamond painting stuff, so I did that. And yeah, oh, there was still, I did better that time around. Because so anyways, I'm done. I need to rein it in. It's not like I have a ton of money right now. I do not. I always tell people, you know, well, I'm the only person I really have to deal with right now. It's not like anybody else is dependent upon my income except me. So, but I love this. This has been really good. And you know, there's a lot of things I could waste money on. I can say that diamond painting really isn't a waste because it's what I do the majority of my spare time. I'm either making videos, or I'm just working on a canvas, or I'm, you know, in the evenings when I'm home, when I have downtime, this is what I do when I have nothing else to do, you know. So I don't think it's a waste of money if it's something you're going to use. And I have no plans for this to end anytime soon. One of my friends said to me, don't you ever get bored of it? And I'm like, honestly, I don't. You know, I know some people, you know, they end up with burnout and whatnot. And I think the reason people get burnout is because they push through something they're not really interested in. They don't really like what they're doing, or it you know, something is wrong with it in some way or another, usually. Or they've just, you know, they've pushed through. Like somebody asked the question the other day about, you know, what they should do because they were really fatigued on a particular kit, and they were wanting to kit something else up. And I was like, kit something else up. You know, it doesn't mean that you're not going to come back and do that kit. It just means that you can only, sometimes some kits, like when I did the Frosty the Snowman kit, I was really excited about doing that kit because of all of the fond memories I have of that show as a kid. You know, when you're a kid, and just some things that were really dear to my heart on that one. But I gotta tell you, it had so much color blocking. And some people love a kit that's got a lot of color blocking because they like that. I did not know, because I'm newer at diamond painting, and most of my diamond painting has been, you know, most of what I was working on for the longest time was just budget kits, and there's a lot of confetti in budget kits for the most part. And so I had never really done one like that had so much, is this the right one? Yeah. That had so much color blocking. And it was this light blue color that was like the dominant color, and it was just terrible. It was just terrible. Because I couldn't keep things straight, and it just frustrated me, and I was just like, I don't like this. And so I have a couple of other kits that, a couple of them I think I probably will destash because I don't see myself actually working on them. Just because I know I'll run into the same thing, and it just wasn't fun for me. So I'm probably going to destash or give those away, you know, one of the two. And I tend on the latter because it's easier to give something away than to hassle with selling and shipping and all that stuff, you know. So, and I'm not so that I don't have a hard time doing that. We have a group in my area, a Buy Nothing group, and we put things up. People put stuff up all the time, and that's how I'm decluttering. I'm not selling stuff. I know a lot of people do that, and honestly, in my situation, it'd probably be a good idea to sell things but when you're getting unemployment and other things while you're in the middle of things, they don't allow you to sell things. If you earn any money, you have to declare it, and then you lose part of your benefits to the amount that you sold it for. So I'm like, well, why would I do that? I might as well give it away. Right now I'm trying to get rid of stuff, so I just post stuff, people come and get it. And actually that's a big help for me. I don't have to go to the post office. I don't have to drive somewhere and drop something off, you know, at Goodwill or anything like that. That's been a godsend, is not having to do that, because sometimes Goodwill won't even take what you've got, even though it's perfectly nice and worth money. It's so weird, some of the stuff. I had this, I do photography, but I don't really do portraits, and I had bought this setup for doing portraits because I got in my head I was going to. I do portraits. I mean, I will do portraits for friends and stuff, but it's not something that I do a lot of, right? And so, and if I do them, I learned most of that stuff outside, because for the longest time I didn't own a flash. And so it was really difficult to do pictures inside, so I never had any of that stuff. I would just tell people, oh, we're going to have to do an outside shoot because I don't have a flash. And so I did a lot of is all natural light. I very little editing, because you're in all natural light most of the time. So unless you're not like in bright sun, those are the best pictures anyways. They come out better. You've got better contrast. Everything's better about it. And so mostly I just do nature stuff now, and landscapes and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, you know, so I tried to go and take that thing to Goodwill, because it was in this huge packet, this huge thing that was in my apartment, and there was no place to put it. So it was in the trunk of my car for like ever, because I didn't have anywhere to put it. It didn't fit in a closet. It didn't fit, because I have my bedroom closet, and I have a little tiny coat closet. That is it for storage here, and it's frankly sucks. I'm used to having a linen closet and a coat closet, and you know, and I just don't have that here. And so, and I kept thinking, I'm gonna move, but it's been 7 years. So far I haven't moved. That's just too expensive. Everywhere you go, it just costs so much money to move. And so it's like, well, so you stick it out a little longer. So that's what I've been doing. So I had a bunch of kitchen stuff, and some stuff I really love it, but I just don't use it very often. And I'm like, why am I holding on to this? I don't throw parties anymore like I used to. I used to do a lot of get-togethers at my house, but I had a bigger place, and so it was a lot easier to do that. But now I just don't. So I'm gonna go down to, you know, just stuff that really fits. I don't need, you know, 2 9x13s baking pans. I don't need them. I usually use my little, I think it's a 5x8 or something like that, or 5x7 maybe. I don't know, it's not very big. And I love it, because it's the perfect kind of, if you're gonna make a casserole, although I can't really make a lot of the casseroles I used to make because they've all got too many carbs. So yeah, just getting rid of that stuff and trying to take inventory and get down to where nothing stays if it doesn't fit in a cupboard. But it's really hard, because you work hard for your stuff, you know. It's hard to just give it away, but at the same time, it's not, somebody else could be using it that will love it, and it's not just going to sit in their cupboard. They're going to actually use it on a regular basis, and I'd much rather have somebody be able to get good use of something that I spent good money on, you know, rather than have it just look pretty in my cupboard, you know. So kind of crazy, huh? The things that we hang on to, and it's not that it's bad stuff, it's good. I mean, it's really nice, but I don't really have a need for it anymore. When I used to go to potlucks, every time I turned around, they came in really handy to have a nice big, and it's not like I don't have a metal one, but these are just the nicer ones. I mean, I have roasting pans that are the size of a 9x13, so I don't have to have the ceramic ones. they're just nice for serving in, you know, because they're pretty. So I'm going to go through and get rid of stuff that really I don't need and I never use, and then I'll get my cupboard space back and it will be good. Kind of crazy. But it's just time to take inventory of that kind of stuff. You know, I'm getting older and you don't need to hang on to things that you're not using. This last summer, I already started doing this. I gave away my dishes, my good dishes that I loved, and I started using my china as my main dishes. And I did that because I had this china. Well, I got sick. Okay, I got really sick, and when I started looking at things, I'm like, what am I saving this for? I bought this china years ago and I never used it. I never used it because it was for company, or, you know. Oh, I just put those ones away. I forgot that whole row there. Oh well. So I got rid of all, I had these dishes, so I had like 2 sets of dishes and all this stuff, and I was like, there's not enough room in my cupboards. And my china was sitting in a box. It wasn't being used and I thought, so I can hang on to this and just pass it off to somebody else when I'm gone, or I can start enjoying the stuff that I really like, right? And so I thought, I'm going to start enjoying the stuff that I really like. And so I got rid of the basic dishes and I started using my china, and I love it. I'm like, I never would have been using this. I have the, what's it called? It's called the Butterfly Meadows china set. If y'all didn't know, I love butterflies. Anyways, so I had this china that I spent good money on about 10 years ago that I hadn't used but a few times, and not but more than a couple of them. And so now I'm like, this is silly. Why did I spend this money on this china and I'm never going to use it? So I'm taking the hitchhikers out of there. So I decided, it was after I had when I got cancer, afterwards, it was a little while later, because I've been in remission for 2 years now. And I just decided, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not gonna hold on to everything for, just sit there and not use it. So that was just what I decided to do this last year, and I just did it. I didn't look back. I gave away the other ones because there wasn't room in my cupboards for both. I had another set of china that somebody gave me. It wasn't something that I chose, and I gave that away because it wasn't really. I mean, why am I holding on to something and setting it in the shed, So I gave that away too. And you feel so much lighter when you do that. It's like, oh wow, that's really good. I'm glad I did that. So why the hang up now trying to get rid of stuff that I'm just not using? It's just sitting in the cupboard. And I don't have any plans really of using it. There's not. Yeah, those are it's not something I'm probably going to use anytime soon. And if I have alternatives to the other one, so I just need to give it up. So that's what I'm working on, but it gets me kind of I don't know why I know that I need to do it. I've decided I'm going to do it, but then I'm hemming and hawing about doing it. Does that make sense to anybody? but I'm working on getting rid of a bunch of kitchen stuff that I just don't need, because I want my kitchen to not be cluttered. I don't want a bunch of stuff on the counters anymore. I want to be able to go into my kitchen and at any moment be able to just start cooking and not have to move stuff around. And because my kitchen's so small, that's how it's been. And I'm like, I've never been like this in my entire life. It's just because I got too much stuff. So, have any of you had to go through this process? It's kind of a mind game, I think. It's kind of, you have to really psych yourself up to do what you know you need to do, and then just do it. And that's, I think, the biggest thing. But what I've been doing is I've just been giving stuff away. And so I post it up on this site, and then I choose who's going to come pick it up. You know, you get, I used to just give it to the first person who asked, and then it started being the same person. You know, it was the same people every time that were seeing the ads. So like there's people that sit on that and they just pounce every time something goes on. And I started, somebody posted something about letting things simmer so you get more people are able to get blessed. And because we want to bless with our abundance, right? We don't want to just, don't want to give in haste. We want what we give to bless somebody. And you want to bless as many people as you can, you know, because there's a lot of people that need things. There was somebody who posted just the other day that they needed kitchen stuff for a friend who lost everything, and they're trying to get them set up again. So I'm like, okay, I need to do this so I can post this stuff, you know, contact that person and say, hey, I have this. Do they need this? Would this be helpful for them? Because, you know, a lot of people out there having a hard time. So it's really important that we be part of the solution of people that are having a hard time. You know, if we can. Not everybody can, and I'm not in the position to give money or anything like that to anybody, but I have stuff that I don't use and that I need to get rid of, and so I'd much rather go to somebody who's actually in need of those items than somebody who just wants those items. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know how I got on this subject. Oh my goodness, I'm just kind of rattling on. But that's what I think anyways. I think that if we can involve ourselves in our communities, and that's what I love about this thing. Hold on a second, I need to turn off this little heater. I'm starting to burn up. My little heater here. Oh, go in there. So, anywho, and I missed some of those triangles. What is it with me today? I think I got too gabby. But that's kind of one of the things that I'm looking at, trying to get some of that stuff accomplished today and tomorrow. That and what was I gonna say? I lost my train. It's going out. I just really like this. The other one, that thing doesn't fit the same, is kind of, I don't know, I'm liking this a lot. Might just be because it's a new toy though. You ever get like that? You get something new. But I do love how these are lining up. These fit in this so well, and I love that little thing that keeps them from, you know, that makes the extras go down, because it just makes it that much easier to do. Oops. Actually, I'm going to leave that piece out because there's two in there, and there was one other one over here that didn't have one in it. Okay. Where did I just, what color is this? I just put the jar back. Ay. It is the N. I'm like, what did I do? Okay. So
I posted on, if any of you are interested in joining the Peggy Collins Paint Along, it's just basically find any Peggy Collins canvas and join us over at my Facebook page. And that is on the, if you go to just like, you go to YouTube and just go to my channel, at the top underneath my name, I think it is not under my name, but right there underneath the heading of the channel, there's a link to the Facebook page. And so you are more than welcome to join. I just ask people to be courteous and kind, and this is a diamond painting page, not a political page. So we're going to leave our political opinions and whatnot out of the site, or out of the page, because, and we're going to leave negative comments out as well. We want it to be a positive experience, and if that's not something you're able to do, it might not be the group for you. But we want to be kind to people and make it a safe place for people to be. And so just none of that stuff needs to even be spoken about. We're just not going to go there because it isn't the place. There's other forums or places people can talk about that kind of stuff, but that's just not it. Oh, there's another N up there I missed. But so feel free to join, and you know, just know that if other stuff starts to come out, like political type stuff and that kind of stuff, then you'll just be removed from the group. There's just that I'm just not putting up with it at all. I had another group a while back, something else, and oh my gosh, some of the people that came in and just ruined it. And so I closed that down completely because it wasn't worth. And I just was like, so that's just an absolute no-no. And yeah. So we're about diamond painting. That's what we're about. This is really fun, and I do like this. This is a really good way to do these stained glass ones, is to put the black pieces in first. It just gives you little sections to fill in, and I'm liking that a lot. Not gonna lie, I'm liking that a lot. It makes it, you kind of have a rhythm about it. And yeah, it's really nice. This is, you know, I started this a little later. I had anticipated starting this on the 1st. And then I had done all the stuff leading up to the 1st. And I don't know how people get it all started on the 1st, because you got to do the box up, or the unboxing. Then you got to do the kitting up, and then you got to start your first whip. And you also have to, in YouTube, especially as a new creator, you have to give things a chance to breathe a little bit. You can't just post a video every single day, or you'll get 10 views on your video and it won't show the other one that you just put up, and it'll just be random that people's. I found if you look at my channel, on the ones where I put up another video like the next day, or you know, put them too soon, they only got like 20 visits, sometimes even less. And then if I let them go for a few days, they'll get, you know, more and more views. And so I have had to make sure that I'm not posting every single day, because then my videos just don't even get seen. So that's kind of what I decided, was I kind of have to do 2 to 3 videos a week while I'm, you know, because if I do them every day and then I stop doing them every day, YouTube, so what I learned, or what I have heard, is that YouTube likes you to have, they like you to be consistent. So if I do 5 videos a week and then I stop doing 5 videos a week, then they might not start showcasing your stuff, because maybe the people that are watching want 5 videos a week because that's what you started out giving them. So I know that it's hard to do that many videos because you got to film them, then you got to edit them, and then you got to upload them. And in order for them to be seen, you kind of have to let them sit overnight, or from what I've been learning, at least 24 hours before you actually schedule it to post, because that gives YouTube time to get the closed captioning done, time to, you know, see what it's about, so they know who to send it out to, especially when you're new. They gotta see what is the video about, so they know who to send it out to. All these things that I'm learning, I'm like, gosh, I didn't know there was so much to know just about posting videos, you know. So that's why I had to wait, because I had uploaded, so they were up on in the system, but they weren't scheduled to go out, because I didn't want to make the mistake of having them too close and then nobody saw the video before because it didn't get put out there. I'm learning a lot doing this. This is a whole new thing. I never, honestly, never thought I'd ever do a YouTube channel, but here I am, and I like it. It's been a lot of fun. I've met some people that I know I would have never met. I missed this whole section. And so yeah, I mean, that's been really fun. What else? So if you're if you go over to the Facebook page, feel free to just post a picture of whatever you're working on. We like to see that. Like to see, you know, what's what out there, who's doing what from where. And I'm not, I do a lot of budget kits. I do, since I started DAC, I kind of got addicted to DACs. Before, all I did was Amazon ones. And then I made the mistake, happy mistake, but I made the mistake of buying the premium kits, the DAC kits on Amazon, and they're just so easy to work on. And so I kind of got hooked. And yeah, that's what happened. I got hooked. So but I still like the budget kits, and I still do the budget kits. Right now, I'm kind of, because I'm doing this Peggy Collins Month, it's just going to be Peggy Collins, and then my butterfly ones that I found. And then, you know, if I get time for anything else, I might do a minis kit, but that's only if I find time. And I have a feeling with this kit is probably going to take me more than a month. It's probably going to go into March. It might take a full 2 months. I just don't honestly know how long it's going to take. That, and I did my calendar. I didn't get the DAC calendar. I got the one on Amazon, which I guess is also sold at Hobby Lobby. So people keep calling it the Hobby Lobby kit, but I actually found mine on Amazon. And it was much cheaper at Amazon, I think, because I only paid $6.99, I think. It went on sale, I think it was like December 30th, or even the 31st, that I got, because I kind of went back and forth as to whether I would get one or not. I knew I wouldn't get the DAC one, because that was just a lot of money for a calendar. It had a lot to it, but it was just a lot of money for a calendar. So I decided against it. And then I saw this one, and then I kept seeing it was like $19.99 at some vendors, and then it was $12.99, and I'm like, that's still a lot to spend for a calendar that I don't use them that much, because I have a little date book. Plus, we have everything on our phones. So then I was like, okay. Then it went down to like $6.99. I'm like, okay, I can spend $7. So I don't even have my light pad on, do I? I do not. Okay, where is the J? Because I did miss a couple J's here. Just a couple. I just missed a couple. Oh, let's move this over here before I spill it. And I lost the drill. Oh no, it didn't come up. I was the kid that spilled their milk every night at dinner time. Were you that kid too? Oh, my mother would scream. As an adult, when I took care of kids, I never got mad at kids for spilling milk, because I knew that it's not like they did it on purpose. No kid spills their milk. Well, maybe there are some kids that spill their milk on purpose, but most of them, they don't. I certainly didn't. It would just happen. And I am one to spill drills, let me tell you. Okay. Okay, that's those diamonds. Now let's do the hearts, because I saw right where those were. This having, like, there's 93 colors in this. I heard somebody the other day, they got a kit with 200 drills, 200 different colors. That's crazy. That's just crazy. That would be really difficult. I'd have to have a printout of the legend in order to keep track of how to do that. That would just be too much for me. So, but I bet it's going to be really pretty when it gets done. I don't remember what it was, but I remember her saying, how would you organize 200 drills, different colors? And I'm like, I do not even know how I would do that. I mean, obviously I'd use my biggest bottle kit. But that would just be craziness. So this has been this is a really fun. It's not, I was really worried about doing squares, but as you can see, it's really good. I know a lot of people do the whole checkerboarding and stuff, and I tried that and it didn't really work very well for me. I can do it once in a while, but for the most part, it just really isn't something I want to do. And I found if you push the pin up against the other drills and go down at kind of an angle, then it works. You just kind of angle it and then go down, and it just works. Especially on this tight grid. I don't know on a looser grid how that would be, but on these tight grids you kind of have to be really tight, because otherwise you won't get all your drills down. You still have to monkey with them a little bit, you know, kind of shimmy them a little bit here and there, but and I think I can move this off. I think that's what's, yikes. Not too much wax there. Okay. So that one's a little bit, I don't know. Sometimes pressing them in with this thing helps too. But I know I just really, this has been not much struggle except on these little areas where they're a little bit tighter. But it'll all work out. That click. Sometimes you just gotta click them in there and make them go in. So that's kind of, I didn't set my timer, so I think probably I will say goodbye for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell. That'll let you know whenever I post a video. And then if you'd be so kind to leave a comment, even just an emoji helps. It shows interaction on the page and lets YouTube know that there's interest. And anyways, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a great day. Bye now.